All right, Matt, first I want to say thank you for taking us through your thinking in this writing class and showing us some things that you set up for your students. And I especially want to call out all your revision work that you've done, because for me as a teacher, I was not strong at figuring out how to get students to peer revise. So I think you did some really great work there, and I appreciate that. Before we wrap up here with the teachers, I was kind of thinking like, I would get you on here and pick your brain and kind of think through a teacher lens of like questions I might have as a teacher about what you do, so that I can think about how I would do that and translate the knowledge I gained here to my classroom. So my first question is, when you're working in, like when you have your kids doing these writer's journals and they're doing these exercises that are really building up great sentence fluency and variety, and they're building up better writing skills, how do you get them to translate that to when it's time to sit down and write an essay?
Okay. There's a couple ways. That's a good question. One thing that I've used would be anchor charts. Like I'll have the drafting strategies anchor charts on the wall, or the sentence structures anchor charts on the wall, so that the students
Mm-hmm.
can look up and use them to help formulate their ideas. And I've also, before they even get into writing drafts, they'll have seen me write drafts up on the board, or on the Word document through Zoom. They'll have seen me, struggle to write things, and they'll see the decisions that I make, and I'll stop and I'll comment on those decisions. Like I'll be like, oh, well, I see that I can use a compound sentence right here, or oh, I could probably connect these two sentences. Or I could be like, well, man, I'm kind of repeating the same start of these sentences here, so maybe I could start with a dependent word and make a complex sentence here. And so they'll see me sort of they'll see my thinking process about revision as writing up on the board.
Okay, awesome. And when you do that, like when you're planning for that, do you ever kind of either draft out what you might write before you write it in class, or think about like, I want to make some mistakes that I've seen them make so I can model that thinking?
Yeah, and I found some actually in that revision decisions book. There
Mm-hmm.
were like you know, how to use this revision strategy of deleting. So like you have this like really long sentence with all these unnecessary words. You put it up on the board, and you're like, you read it aloud, and then you ask the students, oh, well, what words could I delete? But you already know what words you're going to delete
Mm-hmm.
before they even start calling them out.
Okay. And then a couple other questions I had. Um, how do the students do with this? Are they like, do you see throughout the year when you give them this training for peer revision, do you see improvement in the peer revisions they give each other?
Yeah, I do see improvement. I have, and with image grammar, I've seen improvement with their ability to generate these sentence structures. And because the images just engage them a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was doing an if-then conditional statement, like if this happens, then this happens, right? Which is
Mm-hmm.
a complex sentence. It's,
Mm-hmm.
and I put up fail pictures, like a guy like getting hit with a ball in the face. And,
Mm-hmm.
the image just sort of, they wanted to see who could write the best sentence. And then once they're all writing sentences, I'll put them all up, which you can use Pear Deck for that. Or I've used chat
Mm-hmm.
and Zoom, where I've like the sentences into a Word document and then just showed the Word document with all their sentences. And I'm like, well, which sentence, conveys this image the best? And
Mm-hmm.
then, well, why is that one the best?
That's awesome. I love that. And for the revision, like it seems pretty natural to use Canvas discussions. Were you always doing that, or was that an adjustment you made when we went online, or how's that working?
Yeah, I started doing the Canvas discussion feedback um, a couple years ago whenever I started, you know, working in Canvas. But what I realized was that, you really have to model what good feedback looks like, and then you have to evaluate and hold people to a standard with
Okay.
providing feedback, because otherwise it's just going to be, great job.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was always my frustration when I would try to get seventh graders to give each other feedback. They didn't want to hurt each other's feelings, and the feedback was always very generic.
Yeah, and then
Right.
with Canvas also, you can, in the discussion boards, you can do the feedback where it's private. You know, you can arrange it to where not everyone has to see it on the discussion board.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, any other last thoughts or anything that you think is teachers should think about as they plan, or any hurdles that you overcame along the way that you're like, oh, here's a secret for getting past all that?
Ooh, I think if you show that, you know,
Oh, you're breaking up. Give it just a second.
take risk.
Okay. I'm sorry, my internet connection is unstable here. You just gave me a great answer, I'm sure, but it cut out. And I don't think we're going to be able to go re-record again all of this. So are you still there?
Yeah,
Okay. So tell me again what you said.
I said, I think the biggest thing that I realized was that it was okay for me to make mistakes in front of my students so that they felt more comfortable taking risks.
Yeah, that's
You know, and even if I even plan mistakes so that they can see me mess up.
right. Yeah, and sometimes you don't have to plan them. Like that was one of my experiences. Awesome. Well, I want to say thank you again. And I just want to tell our participants, like we have the page up, we want you to reflect and think about how would I translate this into my classroom? Where would I want to use this kind of this work? And so you see here the pages that we're going to ask you to do. And if you'll fill that out and fill out the attendance link before you leave, we'll get you credit for this. And if you have any questions as far as attendance or why am I not getting credit, please direct those emails to me at jdrury@aist.net. If you have questions that are specific to learning here, please post them in the Canvas. We will get those emails. You can also, I'm going to say you can probably email Matt, right? And you can email me. So thank you very much for your time. We hope that this was helpful for you. I know that I picked up some stuff from it, so I'm really thankful and grateful to you, Matt, for that. All right. Y'all have a great day, and we will see you soon.